Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Greetings, I'm Vulkk. It's Sunday, which means it's also time to take a look at the news, events, and everything more important that happened throughout this passing week. This is the Weekly Roundup show, and we begin straight away with the first main topic: Star Wars The Old Republic's daily operation rotation cycle after patch 5.0. I could have published this a lot sooner, of course, because 5.0 has been around for more than 4 months now. Anyway, I've decided to finally publish this updated list. You might remember similar titled articles in the past on my website. However, they have been outdated for quite some time because, well, they were for 4.0, for the 4.0 cycle. Here is what we have: 9 operations ordered, each one to appear in a different day throughout the week. Because the week has 7 days and we've got 9 operations, we need to follow this cycle, or rotation if you prefer, in order to know which one operation will be tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and so on and so on. There are no specifically designated operations for each day of the week. The cycle begins with Eternity Votes and ends with Scum and Villainy. Why BioWare decided to rotate them in this specific manner, I do not know. What I do know though is that this now is a part of my comprehensive gearing guide found over here. I've shown you that in the past, and of course I keep updating it, but I don't need to show you the small updates every week for the Weekly Roundup show. If you need any information about endgame gearing in Star Wars The Old Republic 5.2, which is landing in April and is the best endgame gear patch we've seen since the last November, take a look at the guide. Moving on to the next topic, which is kind of a funny one. Why did BioWare nerf Star Wars The Old Republic's Fractured Uprising command experience gain or reward in patch 5.1.2? Down below, BioWare says that this change was initially planned for 5.2, along with a couple more changes that are actually nerfing command experience received from some places. Basically, what BioWare wants to do is balance the rewards. If you do an uprising for 10 minutes, you will receive reward for playing 10 minutes. If you do an uprising for 30 minutes, you have to receive a reward worth for your time spent 30 minutes. Basically, I'm actually thinking in my head about Done and Dusted, for example, in comparison to Fractured. Both are relatively easy, don't get me wrong. It's just that one has 5 bosses. I want to say that, yeah, there are 5. Or 4, I can't remember, damn it. And I have to check my own guide. And the other one has 1.5 boss encounters only. So yeah, you're not supposed to receive the same reward, and that's what BioWare is going to do with 5.2. The reason why this particular change happened in 5.1.2 a couple weeks ago is because they messed up. Someone actually implemented that change earlier than intended, and that's how we ended up with a silent nerf, which wasn't initially included in the patch notes. Well, it has been included now, and everything is fixed. Moving on, I have a new guide for GWENT for you guys this week. If you're a beginner, if you're a new player to GWENT or to card collecting games overall, I have this GWENT terminology list of all official and unofficial terms. I have not created that list myself, and I have given credit to the person who has created it. I just cleared it up a little bit for what I believe to be an appropriate form for website posting. We've got a list of official terms of what is relentless, fleeting, loyalty, passive ability, token, and all the other things that you will see mentioned in the game somewhere, or specifically on the cards themselves. Down below there is the second list of unofficial terms created by us, the players and the community, such as what is a control deck. That's a very often mentioned term in forums, Reddit, Discord, and everywhere else you might encounter GWENT discussions. What is synergy? What is a spy card? And other things like that. Very useful guide. Huge props to the person who's taken the time to create that guide, because it's really interesting and helpful to new people, or at least I think so. I didn't have a guide when I was learning the game myself, and I think if I had this list of terms, it would have helped me to learn things a lot sooner. Not that these things are very fatal, but, well, you know. Moving on to another big topic. Mass Effect Andromeda released their official launch trailer, and everybody who has played any, or preferably all three of the original trilogy Mass Effect games, spanning from 2007 or 8 to 2012, I want to say that we're all hyped up. I was late to the party, having played the three Mass Effect games just a couple months ago. But I've become a huge fan of the series. I don't know what the hell took me so long to play through the games. I'm here now. I'm excited. I've actually moved Mass Effect column to the homepage of my website because I expect a lot of news. Don't worry, Star Citizen is still here. It's just that the development cycle of Star Citizen is such as at the moment there is nothing big major happening, just announcements and discussions and future plans, which I consider something that doesn't need to be covered right away because they do a pretty fantastic job with the Around the Verse weekly video series on the official Star Citizen YouTube channel. So yeah, we're going to see on the homepage a lot more Mass Effect posts and news, and I've already started with a few. Here is an example of the Mass Effect Andromeda official launch trailer. I personally didn't like the trailer that much. Maybe it was the music. I'm not such a huge fan of that type of music. Maybe, although I think it's not that much the music, but it was the generic type of presentation that the trailer offered me. I don't know if you agree with me, but I was expecting and hoping that the trailer is going to be a lot more epic sounding and epic looking. I don't want to be the next generic slave that will climb up through the ladder and become the galactic hero again. I was already used to being the galactic hero in the face of Shepard. I don't know. I'm still very, very excited about the game. I can't wait for 16th or 17th. I'm not really sure what exactly is the date for my local time zone, but I'll definitely start live streaming those first 10 hours as soon as they're granted to me. And beyond that, we'll see what happens. I believe the European release date is 23rd, for North America is 21st. So be ready for a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda live streams coming in less than 2 weeks. Well, yeah, that's it, less than 2 weeks. The next topic is again about Mass Effect, and I've decided to share with you guys just in case you were wondering or you were having trouble finding the official system requirements for the game. We have a list of minimum system requirements and recommended system requirements. What is interesting to note is that the game seems to be very demanding on CPU. I would say a 1060 GPU for recommended PC requirements doesn't spark me as too high. I mean, 1060 is a new card, but after all, it's what is it? Medium to low range, medium range, I should say. Actually, there is plenty of cards lower than this, so it's this one 1060 is supposed to be a medium range. I'm not commenting on AMD because I'm not familiar with their production, and I can't say how good a card RX 480 would be. 55 gigabytes of space, I don't think that's an issue anymore these days. Even if you prefer to run your games on SSDs became extremely cheap. What is good is that the game is actually using the same, of course, tuned in a bit and updated a bit engine that was used in other games from EA, such as Battlefield 1 and Battlefront. And both of these games had very good visuals, stunning effects, and graphics with a very, very good and smooth performance on wide range of PCs. On my personally, if I don't forget, I'll share my personal PC specs down below in the video's description. So you can check what my PC is, and I can tell you that on this PC, Battlefront just flies, completely flies through everything. The last topic in terms of news is that I want to share with you the upcoming summer hit Star Wars Inferno Squad. This is a book from Christie Golden, and it was announced, I believe, maybe a couple weeks ago, but it's now available for pre-order. Obviously, the price is a little bit salty, $22 for a book. I don't think that's really cheap, but these days, pretty much all the new books are around that price range. All the new Star Wars books, please keep in mind. The book is going to tell us a different story following Rogue One and A New Hope, and it will be from the Empire's point of view of the Inferno squad. I won't give any more details away. The book is available for pre-order. It is launching on 25th of July 2017. And I don't know if it will ever be translated into Bulgarian or when, actually. Pretty much all the books get translation into Bulgarian, Star Wars books, I mean. But I don't know when, and I probably won't have the patience to wait for that to happen. Just like with pretty much all the other books since the new canon was announced a few years ago. In terms of videos, I think we should definitely claim this week to be the week of the live streams. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos since the last Sunday, not counting the previous weekly roundup. And out of these 7 videos, I've got 5 live streams. Yep, that's a lot. 3 of those live streams were about Shadow of Mordor, because even though I haven't started covering the game in written form on my website yet, I believe it's a little bit too early. I'm way overhyped about the upcoming Shadow of War. This is a continuation of the story of Shadow of Mordor, Middle-earth game from Monolith that told us the story of Talion, a ranger from the north. And why the hell did I say ranger from the north? I should probably delete that part. Okay, the basic point is I've played that game, and I've actually made a walkthrough on my second YouTube channel a few years ago. I've played it a second time with a bit of live streaming, maybe a year or 2 years ago. And now I've started replaying it again because the hype about Shadow of War is really big. Yesterday on the third live stream, I had quite a bit of success with tons of new folks coming in. I'm not really sure if it was the title or if it was just a generic hype, but I would like to say welcome to all of the new subscribers and visitors to my channel. Speaking of visitors, I would like to say my huge thanks to my 30 patrons for the February 2017. Thank you guys for your help. It has been tremendous support from you throughout all of these months. Some of you have been around for a very long time. Some of you have just joined. Whether you've joined today, yesterday, or a year ago, I would like to inform you that I'm still very thankful. I know that not all of you care about Star Wars: The Old Republic anymore, and this is probably the main reason why you became my patrons. I know that Star Wars: The Old Republic is not delivering us the amount of content that we want. I'm kind of struggling lately to show new content about the game and not get repetitive, because streaming every day flashpoints, uprisings, and probably operations now and then, I don't think that's entertaining. And you've shown me that it's not, by just not caring about the live streams as much as in the past, because it's the same old content. Nonetheless, huge thanks to all of you guys. If anybody else is not familiar with what Patreon is, it's a system to provide support for people like me. I don't need that support. I don't live off my YouTube or my website. They're just a hobby. And because of that, all of these extra earnings I'm able to throw back into my production. Not all of them, of course. I keep some of them for, I don't know, for things like, my mug is too far away. I wanted to show off my lovely mug. But yeah, I think I've stretched the video for far too long, because it was actually a small amount of news week this past 7 days. Wrapping it up. See you next time. Probably, depending on when you're watching the video. Maybe later tonight with the live stream. Maybe tomorrow with another live stream. Maybe on Tuesday with the patch notes for Star Wars: The Old Republic's patch 5.1.3. Maybe with something else. Bye-bye.